Keep living in your right mind. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today on this awesome day. We want to make sure we say thank you to our veterans that have served, our men and women. Thank you for your service. We honor you this day and forevermore. We appreciate all that you have done for this country. Well, again, thank you for joining. Keep living in your right mind. We have an awesome show today. We have the amazing Raquel Moss. She is amazing. She just doesn't understand, okay, how amazing she is. But she is amazing. But I also want you to remember that we're broadcasting here from We Empower Network, the network that does nothing but win, win, win. So make sure you join the We Empower Network. You subscribe to our channel on YouTube, okay? And also, I have to ask you, caregivers, what have you been doing for yourself? Have you been following our Keep Living in Your Right Mind pledge? I hope so. And the first one point of that pledge is to make sure you just prioritizing your well-being. Make sure you are taking care of yourself, whatever that looks like for you. Make sure you are doing that just for you as you care for your loved one. And our second point of the pledge is just making sure you make the best and safest decision, for yourself and your loved one. That's most important. And no one knows what that is but you. And then our third point is making sure you have a support system. A support system that you create and reevaluate throughout the year. Okay, isn't that good?
Yes.
Yeah, so we want to make sure you follow our Keep Living in Your Right Mind pledge so that you can keep living in your right mind. Okay? Well, I tell you, we're going to go ahead and just jump into our amazing program today. We have with us Mrs. Raquel Moss. Yes, she is a mother of two. Yes, she is a dedicated daughter and a loving sister and a passionate educator, a straightforward motivator she is, and a business owner, and a 1, 2, 3 times stroke survivor. God is good. I think we can just pause right there for a minute and say, thank you, God, for all that you do. Okay? When he said abundant life, he has given you abundant life. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Okay? Many can't say that.
No.
That's not everyone's story who have had a stroke or experienced, that type of challenge. So that's a blessing. And so when I think about Raquel's story, what comes to my mind, and again, I'm always trying to sing on here and I can't sing. I wish,
Me neither, so don't.
Okay. My mom would have left me her voice, but she didn't leave me her voice. But every time I think about Raquel's story, I think about the song from CC Winans that says, Mercy said no. Y'all know that song? That's a beautiful song by CC. Mercy said no, and the lyrics say, Mercy said no, I'm not going to let you go. I'm not going to let you slip away. You don't have to be afraid.
Ooh, don't get me crying.
Mercy said no. Hey! Okay. So I'm just going to leave y'all with that little song right there for a minute while we just understand how good God is in this story that you're getting ready to hear. Okay. So if you haven't, gone and tell your friends and family to come on over right now and listen to this awesome story and how she wants to really educate and elevate. Well, thank you, Miss Mom.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thank you for being a part of this journey.
Yes.
Truly. My friends and my family, I can never thank them enough.
Yeah.
Never can thank them enough for giving me grace.
Yes.
And patient
Yes.
as I go through all of this, right?
Yes.
Because this journey right here is one I do ask why.
Wow.
I be like, ooh, why me, Lord? Right? So we kind of familiar with we do the why me.
Yes.
Why me? So we're gonna start from the beginning.
Yes. Yes.
Of this journey. It was September 25th. I was on fall break. Working here in county. I was at Austin Road Middle School. And Marcus and I were getting back. We were like, okay, we just came back from a wonderful vacation. It's time to get ready for work. So that Saturday, I think it was a Saturday. And we went to eat in one of our, my favorite restaurants. And I just couldn't talk. I was sitting across from him, eating pizza. And something just felt like I was going underwater.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, okay, something is happening to me. I'm not sure why, but I can no longer talk. So he on his phone like kids, on their cell phone. Then looks up and I'm like, I'm gonna give it the mama look, right. Like, you ain't noticed I'm not talking to you. And so he said something wrong. I said, I could not, and he immediately got the waitress, and she immediately called, the EMT to take me to Henry Medical. And so they were like, have you ever had a stroke? And, at this point, I'm just shaking my head. I can do those things. You could see the drip, the droop in my face. I could start feeling the tingling of the right arm. All the things they tell you will start happening to you, they begin to happen. And so immediately I was just like, how am I going to go back to work?
I know.
Why am I thinking about work? My babies, how this going to affect, who's going to do what? And, immediately he started making the phone calls, to everybody that he knew to call and say, Mom has had a stroke. We're headed to the, hospital. And when that call went out, it would seem to me like everybody came, and it's like, and then the memories started to go away. And I'm like, it's almost like, no, don't take that, And I was like, okay, God, whatever you're doing, I'm unfamiliar. And I could hear the nurse, she saying, okay, I'm going to give you, not knowing the name of these medicines, right? She was affectionately calling a clock buster.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. And she was pretty much saying it's going to turn your memory back, And I'm like, okay, whatever you talking about, lady, just do it, just do it. Because give it to me and let's see what's going to happen. And so, it was a period that I didn't recognize people.
Wow.
And I could see them crying, which would make me cry. Because I'm like, okay, they're seeing something.
Right.
I'm feeling something.
Yes.
And they're telling me to kind of just rest. And I'm saying, try not to panic.
Yes.
Because now I'm seeing everybody looking.
Right.
The nurses and everybody looking. And I'm like, what are they seeing?
Right.
So that was the first thing. Just trying to figure it out.
Yes.
And
of course,
a lot. Right? Your friends
are
coming in the room. People like, you want to see her and all this stuff. And people trying to be jovial.
Right.
And then I have people arguing because they're like, we don't know what to do. We don't know what to say. You be quiet. And so I
don't understand what's going on.
Immediately said, shut up.
Wow.
That was I almost scared myself because I'm like, okay, I realize I can't talk, but I'm trying to listen to this voice, right? And everybody around me, I was like, I need everybody out of here.
You needed that time to be quiet.
Yeah. And so that's when I knew God was going to speak to me about something.
Yes. You needed that time to be quiet, to hear from God.
Yeah.
Because you didn't understand completely what was going on yourself. Yeah.
Right. I'm like, oh God. So, the doctor started telling me, like, okay, you have high blood pressure. Okay. And I'm like, yeah, I have been going to the doctor about it. But being an educator, and educators, a lot of us are on high blood pressure pills.
Wow. And does that run in your family?
Yes, my dad.
Okay.
Right? Okay. But you're like, you're going to the doctor, they're telling you, then you need to rest. We know how education is, and I'm a workaholic. Once I get my mindset,
she is a workaholic. Yes, she is.
Especially when kids are asking you for assistance. Yes, you want to get them what they need so they can be successful. It's all about them, right? So I'm like, okay, if it's all about them, how then do I return back to work? So I'm just telling you, the whole thing was, okay, I know this has happened to me, right? Why am I so concerned about coming back to work?
So that's why I'm kind of looking at you like, okay, you are really concerned or more concerned about the students than your health, than yourself, than just getting back.
Because I know they listen to me. Okay. We build relationships, right?
Right.
And it's like, okay, how do I go back? I'm barely talking. I'm barely walking. They're telling me I gotta learn how to do these things all over again. Who? Which kid, Okay, now I'm gonna be the laughing stock, right? Because this is not the Miss Moss that they're used to.
Right. They used to see Miss Moss being strong, energetic, and wearing 25 hats at one time.
Right. And don't talk about that. The 25 hats. Don't believe it. Okay. They're not all at one time. I just sit some down and then put another one on, right? But it's never on, don't believe it. But I just when I work to, some would say perfection. Yes. I say it to excellence. And it's God's excellence. Yes. What He deemed is perfect for me. Right. The skill sets that I've been honing ever since I was a little girl. Right. So it became very easy for me. Yes. Okay. So I'm thinking everything else in this stroke life it's gonna become easy, and that was not the case.
Wow. Okay. So that was the first stroke, and then so I guess how long were you out of work or away from your students?
Girl, that was hard. I wasn't gone that long. Being honest with you, I wasn't gone that long. From September, from when it started. So then you know how we have those breaks. Yes. Right? Yes. So me working, right? Not really taking breaks. I took vacation when vacation was given. Right. So I had a lot of time. Yeah. So
had a lot of time.
Right. Yes. So I'm like, okay, I don't have to do this FMLA if I use my time wisely.
Yes. Okay. Right. So you strategizing.
Yes.
Okay. So that's stroke. Now she's strategizing.
Right. Try to use your time wisely, right? Because that time is important. It is important. I've earned those days.
That's right.
Right. So my HR hat came on because that's what I have my master's in. Okay. HR management. How to manage, right? How to get it all done. Right. Without pretty much you feel like you're not stressing yourself. Yes. Right. But you also have this new normal coming in. Like, okay, I gotta remember to take blood pressure pills. I gotta remember to walk. I gotta remember to talk correctly. I gotta remember this, and the other, and it is a stroke affects the brain.
Yes,
right?
Yes,
so it attacks the brain. And so you're like, okay, I know I'm gonna need some caregivers, right?
Yes.
So Marcus was my caregiver, during the stroke process at home.
Okay.
Right. But the one that I want to talk about is the work.
Yes.
How do you go back to work?
Yes.
Right. So you got to have that conversation. For educators, it is our principal and our assistant principals.
Yes.
And those people that are on your hallway. Those people that are around you, that is going to be that first point of call if I say, hey, something is happening to me.
Right.
Right.
They understand.
They know exactly what to do.
They know the signs.
I do not advise people to come back to work and say nothing has happened.
Yes.
You have some people be like, I don't want anybody to know. I don't want anybody to know what has happened because it may affect my career. Now I heard that. Y'all, yes, y'all know we hear that.
So that's fear that
yes. And I had the same one, but mine was more towards the children. How the children gonna care for me.
Right.
Do they need to know? How much do they need to know? Look at here. Y'all kids, and I'm gonna tell y'all because your nephew was a part. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, how are they gonna view me? And so a couple of them I did have to tell because I was affectionately the beta person. Right. So my beta president, she called me over the break, and then so I was like, okay, not a problem.
Good. So she's
like, okay, right. So they, I'm like, so in my office, and so you're trying to figure things back out, right? You're in your office, you have the stairs. First of all, you got the stairs. Everybody looking at you like, what you? Wait a minute, you bad? Okay, I have this, vision of an aunt or my father or somebody else who didn't make it through a stroke.
Right.
So those are the eerie looks.
Yes.
That I do not like.
They looking at you like, wow, God is really amazing.
Yes.
Yes,
but
he
sometimes the things that come out of their mouths, I kind of like, okay. Some people have asked like, oh, I'm glad to see you, but my sister did not make it.
Oh wow.
I'm like, I'm so sorry about your sister, but
that's when you have to decide to educate others. About your challenge in life, your journey, how you actually got to the point that you're even at right now, sitting right here next to me. You have to educate, and then not only educate, like you said, the people around you, your other colleagues, they have to be able to have that awareness to understand the signs and to be aware and to be willing to help. So you talked about your first stroke. So when did you have your second stroke?
I had the second stroke. That was during COVID. It was during our COVID season.
Okay.
And we were all in the house. We were all in the house. Marcus now is in college.
Okay.
Marcus now is in college. So I don't have my little personal,
caregiver at home. Well, we thank you, Marcus, for all you have done for your mom. Yes, we did. And your daughter.
Right. And so Kesey is not living back with me. She has her own place.
Okay.
But we're in, right? Everybody's in. And then we're trying to maneuver online, as an educator and all that stuff. And it was so funny during that time. I had just had the opportunity to kind of present we had being proactive at work. So myself and another young lady flew Florida.
Okay.
Got our little mask on and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we flew to I can't remember the Florida right now. And we were at this seminar, and
Okay.
we was like, okay, girl, we're gonna do this presentation when we come
Mm-hmm.
back. Not so.
Mm.
Not so. I had the second stroke. I
Wow.
had the second stroke because I wasn't sleeping. The insomnia
Oh,
that
okay.
you sometimes some stroke patients form. You can't sleep.
Okay.
I have been up 3 days.
You have been awake 3 days.
Just you have this thing like this cat nap, like you take,
Oh, wow.
and it feels like you are sleeping. You in a deep sleep,
Yes.
right? And just something wakes you up. It could be a little noise,
Mm-hmm.
Anything, and you're back up. Like, okay, I can go to, and I'm like,
Well, how did you manage that now that you are at home really by yourself?
right?
Your
It was scary.
kids, your children, your
Mhm.
caregivers are no longer
Mhm.
there. How
Mhm.
did you manage that? Did you take something else to help you sleep?
Yeah, they would tell you could take melatonin and those type of
Okay.
things.
Mm-hmm.
They would give you something. I can't think of the name of that medicine, but you don't want to start taking a whole lot of stuff. You want your
I agree.
body
Yes.
to naturally do what it's supposed to do.
Yes.
And so I was fighting that. I want to be Raquel again.
Yes.
I really want to be Rock again.
Yes.
I want to be that girl that, in high school that you met.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I want her back. I'm
Yes.
fighting for her.
Yes.
And I'm like, but she has this thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's like, how do I keep moving forward?
Yes.
God, I know what you said.
Yes.
I am doing it. So that's when Rock 10,
Yes.
going back just a little bit to the
Yes.
first one, Rock 10 was taking,
Yes.
taking off.
Yes.
The business was doing well.
Yes.
People were working out.
Yes, you were exercising. You
Woo,
was walking,
and I was telling
yes.
people, I didn't want the accountability first and foremost. I didn't want it because it's difficult to be that for people every day on social media.
Yes.
I was like, I don't know if people realize it.
Yes.
It's like,
a job for real.
if I stop, if I miss a day or two, I'm going to get some phone calls. What are you doing? You okay? You okay? And they're panicking because they don't see me.
Wow. Okay.
So y'all became my caregivers.
Reaching out.
You know what I'm saying? I need to see you online because if I don't see you, Raquel, then I'm panicking. Like something must be wrong.
Yes.
Right?
So you had created or developed a community, even
Unbeknownst
before your stroke and after your stroke, okay, that really cared about you and for you.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
It is.
So when they didn't see you sometimes, they would just reach out and wanted to make sure you was okay. So after that second stroke, what did you learn or do different? Because that was now the second stroke, more rest. Yeah.
When I was in the hospital, I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
Because now I can sleep.
Yes. Sometimes
that was
good to say.
That was the best vacation in that hospital bed. I'm sorry, y'all. That was some good sleep. Because one day, I think I did 3 days there too. And one day the doctor was like, the second day, we couldn't even wake you up. And that scared me. That scared me. When he said, we couldn't even wake you up. I mean, your vitals and everything were, you were fine. But we could touch you. We could talk to you. It was nothing. I was like, what a minute now? What? And he was like, yeah. So we were like, just let her rest.
Wow.
We
so
could tell you were just that tired.
For the second stroke?
Same one.
Okay, the same hospital. Okay.
Yeah, Henry.
Wow.
Be my Henry. Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for letting me rest and taking good care of me every time. And because some of y'all, had your kids, I didn't realize that at the time. Yeah. And so they were like, okay, this is Miss Moss. She's my child graduation coach, or
yes.
she's secretary at Austin Road, or she's, you know, it begins,
Mhm.
okay, she's at McDonough Middle now.
Yes.
I didn't know these people like that,
Mhm.
right? But I knew their children.
Right. And that was most important to
Mm-hmm.
you anyway,
Mm-hmm.
their children,
Right.
your children.
Right.
Your
And once
students.
again, you're like, okay, this is the second one. Then you have those people. Um, she shouldn't be working. So
Okay.
I then began to hear that,
Wow.
which I think hurt me the most.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
She shouldn't be working.
and everyone is really I guess everyone would have an opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they see you, you know, you had the first stroke, now
Mm-hmm.
you have the second stroke.
Mm-hmm.
Now they want to, you know, say what you should not be
Mm-hmm.
doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's when education and awareness come into play.
Yeah.
You know, because
And
there's a lot of
to
people.
what her doctor's really saying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of opinions that are out there. I was getting ready to say that because they have to understand and know your story.
Yeah.
As a single mother, a parent,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's hard to tell someone where you shouldn't be working. Well, what are you doing for that person? Right.
Y'all gonna pay your bills. I have
right. That's what I'm getting at. Like, what are you doing? Like when you actually open up your mouth and give someone your opinion, but not a solution. That's what I'm trying to get at. I mean, you have a lot of people that have opinions about
that. They had the solution, right? Yeah. Sometimes they didn't want to hear my solution, especially in education.
Yeah, but they didn't have a solution. They just had an opinion. Yes.
You know, and we talk, like I said, you have to have that relationship with your principal, and everybody that's on your caregiving team at work.
Yes.
And so, you know, every time I went back, they were like, okay, so how do I need to do you now? Because you know, my kid, you are scaring us.
Yeah. But educate.
But it never happened at the school. It never happened at the school.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It never happened at the school. It just always seemed like on these breaks.
That's when you would
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I said, God, you trying to tell me I don't need to go back? You know? What you trying to really say, right? So, you know, I am good at what I do. I learned it because I had really good people to train me. Yes. And that's what I tell people. If you have really good trainers, people that mentor you, people working with you side by side to say, I can tell when you're off, Raquel, because you've never done it this way. Yeah. So repetition for me is the most important thing, right? So thing was, okay, I need for you to see how I'm typing it. I need for you to be in that meeting with me to see if I'm saying it correctly before I get in front of parents. Right? As a graduation coach, I work with the at-risk students. So a lot of students who are failing, can I still motivate those students? Yeah. Do I still have it? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Because that is what I do. Wow. Right? Making them aware of their next steps, making the parents aware of the next steps. I'm very serious in those meetings. Yes. I don't take it lightly. Right. And so when we're in those meetings, a lot of time my colleagues sometimes become my enemy, especially if they don't have what I need. Right. You know what I'm saying? They're not bringing right. Yes. When they're supporting me, right? You're supporting this child and the parent. I'm on student services. So that's why I say education has very different areas, right?
Well, supporting you in a way of just making sure that your health.
Yes. So that's why I have the what we call the dummy meeting first. Yes. You know, just to make sure we all ready, ready for this. And so I just want to make sure I'm saying the right things and you're doing exactly what I'm saying. Right. So you had to create. You really had to trust
people. After the
Yes.
second stroke,
Yeah.
you really had to develop relationships where you trust people on your job.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know how many of us trust, you know, a lot of people on our jobs, but I do have a handful of people I trust on my job as well. And it's a handful of people because sometimes everyone don't have your best interest.
Right. Right.
And so you have to be careful with that. But now that you have had this second stroke, you developed those relationships with people. You went back, you educated those people. You talked to them and made them aware of the signs.
Where my meds are in my desk.
Good.
Where are my meds in my purse?
Good.
You know, I have Miss Walker now that I'm at McDonough for the second one. Well, no, the third one. She is appointed to go into my purse. She knows where my little card is. Now they give you a card, girl. We're going to talk about this.
Okay.
This third one, girl, we talking about technology on this.
Okay. When we come back, we're going to dive. Yes, this is good, y'all. This is good. We're going to dive right into Raquel's story about her third stroke. Okay? When we come back, keep living in your right mind.
Yes.
Hi, guys. It's Tina Wen, your host of the podcast, You See Me. I want you guys to stay encouraged, continue to come out and see me, and most importantly, see yourselves. Remember, the only way that you can truly enjoy life is to see other people so that you can enjoy the beauty of seeing yourself. Come join me Saturdays at 4 on the We Empowered Network. Thank you.
This is Tammy, host of The Power Up on the We Empowered Network. Join me every Friday at 12 noon as we discuss news, purpose, and perspective.
Yes, welcome back, you all. We have the amazing Raquel Mouse here with us. She has been sharing her story. And let's just dive right back into it. So you talked about the first stroke and the second stroke. We talked about how you had to go back to work and educate your colleagues and teach them and make them understand the signs and build relationships that she can trust people to understand when she's really having issues at work. So tell us about your third stroke.
Girl, so this third one just happened, y'all. Right this last week, they told me not to remember dates like that.
Okay.
It happened the last week in June.
Okay.
I was laying on the bed. I had just came back from an AKA event, and I was like, you know what? I want something sweet.
Okay.
Right.
Sweet tooth.
I had already taken my shower. You know, I said, I'm gonna just run out, right? You know, I don't want to run out, right? So yeah, the sweet tooth turned to a whole meal.
Oh.
Okay. But this one right here, y'all, a little different. I was driving.
By yourself.
By myself. The kids gone out doing their little thing. They living their best life.
Yes.
So there was no one going at home no way. So mommy just gonna run out and get her something.
Right.
And I was driving and I noticed something about myself. I said, I looked down and I noticed that my hand when doing right. And then I noticed that my leg wouldn't. Then I noticed, wow. I'm not having a stroke right now.
Wow.
Not while I'm driving. On 138 and stop breathing.
Wow. So not far.
I managed, to get that car pulled over. I managed to get that car pulled over by bringing this hand over.
Wow.
Okay.
You and the
And
angels
so,
pull that
yes.
over. Okay.
And I'm like, okay.
My goodness.
Breathe, Raquel. Breathe, Raquel. Breathe, Raquel. Got over to the crystals.
Okay.
I just got it to the end, and I just sat there for a minute, and I pushed the last person to call me, which was a coworker.
Okay.
And a soror. And I told her I needed help. She said, "You having a stroke, Raquel?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "Where are you?" And I couldn't say.
Oh wow.
Baby, the goose chase. It got started, okay?
Oh.
And it wasn't for her and her daughter and her son, who were my former students.
Okay.
But like, we gotta find Miss Moss. Because at that time I didn't have
the light 360.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talk about that app all the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't have it on my phone. We had talked about it and did it yet. You know how we do, procrastinating on it. And so when they found me, I guess about 30 minutes had gone by. I'm just in the parking lot. I said, these folks ain't seen this car pulled over. And they ain't came out from that restaurant, you know, and said, "Ma'am, are you okay?" Nobody. Because I was too scared to get out. Because I didn't know if I could walk. Right? Because everything on that right side, the insurance shut down. So I'm just sitting in the car just waiting. And Keith finally said, "I found her." And everybody, my mom, everybody was there. Got in the ambulance. They said, "We're not taking her to Henry no more. We're going to take her to Grady."
Yes.
And yeah, let me tell you something. Grady is still Grady, baby.
Yes.
The place to be. I had a team of doctors. Okay? It wasn't just one. Your girl had a team.
A whole team of neurologists.
Yes, a whole team of neurologists. And what was so amazing, one of the neurologists, a young Black girl that I had met, I guess about maybe 8 months prior to, she walked in and she said, "I know this lady. This is Miss Moss from Florida." We went to a career day together. Okay. Career day at Florida Middle School. Okay. Shout out to my girl Corliss, who invited us to meet. Okay, and the conversation she and I had, you know, being a stroke survivor of 2 times at that time, right? She began to say, okay. And for her to walk in that room and remember me, when I tell you those team of doctors, baby, and that is everything, every test, we got to find out what's going on. She's an educator. I could hear, and I'm like, oh my God.
Isn't that something?
Sister, she was sitting there like, okay, wait a minute. Things begin to move and shake, okay?
Having the right people.
Baby.
The right place. Yes.
Have those conversations. That's why you cannot be afraid of the journey. Because when God sends them, you're supposed to be talking to them.
Yes.
Okay?
You have to have a voice.
I talk to her. Yeah. And she had walked in there.
Yeah, she wouldn't really
know me. Yes. But for her to tell my sister about everything that we talked about, she and I talked about.
Just one conversation.
One conversation.
Look at God.
I said, okay, I see it now, God. We couldn't wait. Okay. I'm like, okay. So I was like, okay, the doctor was like, okay, we're going to do some new technology, Miss Moss. I had a blood clot that had formed.
A blood clot, okay. And it formed where?
In my brain.
In your brain.
So they had to go through my growing and, burst it. But then they were like, something else, Raquel. You're too young to keep this is happening.
Right.
I said, I agree. agree, Doc.
I'm so glad they.
You know, I'm like, I agree,
Yeah.
Doc. I agree. Something ain't right. You know. So of course now you got more extensive technology.
Yes.
And I'm in there like, ooh, Lord, this is where they training.
Yes.
So they're like, we're going to do a lot of talking. Do you mind, Miss Moss? Because these doctors are the ones that are going to go out. These are neurologists that are going to go back to their hospitals.
Hospitals, yeah.
Yeah, and save more people like you.
Yes, they were in training, but
you talking about nervous girl.
Yes.
Because now I'm hearing everything that he's saying. He's the teacher. I'm the patient. You know, you see them little diamonds. You see them little diamonds. I'm like, wait a minute now. You know? Yeah. So, you know,
I'm yet alive.
Right. I'm like, y'all still alive. So, I think when they said, okay, we found it, you have what we call a web that has disconnected. It's the artery has disconnected to the brain. So that's what happened. That's why they shut down. Right? I'm like, okay. So he said, I don't know if you're gonna walk again. We don't know until we get this. We don't know.
That's the doctor's report.
Yeah, we don't know, but this is what we getting ready to do. So they open this up right here. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's a small little thing right here, ain't it?
Yes, very small.
Up here. This is where they run the stent through.
Okay.
And it's over here.
Okay.
So I'm like, wait a minute now. You mean to tell me you finna open me up here and run this stent all the way? How you can? You trying to understand? Yeah. And he was like, man, Mouth, we doing the procedure. Right. Not you. We want you to go to sleep. Yeah. We're gonna put you, in a light sleep, and we're gonna love on you, but we're gonna do this surgery.
Wow.
And I said, okay, I trust you. I trust you.
My goodness.
I trust you.
So when they were done with the surgery and you were, I guess, in recovery at that time, how did you start back walking? Did they ask you about walking?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, girl. It was a miracle.
Yes.
Because they just asked, all right, we're going to see what you can do. So, you go through all your series of questions, right? And he was like, okay, we need you to get up and walk.
And you said,
okay.
I think
let me
can.
See. You trying to motivate yourself. Right. And I'm like, okay, Raquel. He was like, get out. We're not going to assist you. Not at all. We're here just to see. And I said, okay. When I tell you, I walked to the bathroom, used the bathroom, washed myself, everything. And Marcus, so everybody looking like, wait a minute. Yeah. Wow. And I was according to this doctor, right? This team of doctors and the nurse, who was a male nurse, and he was amazing. He was like, okay. He said, we're going to just dismiss you from ICU. I said, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me, do I have any more days on my health insurance? Y'all have to put me out. Have my health insurance right now. Wait a minute now. What you all trying? I know I can do one more day of it. Right. He was like, Miss Mom, no ma'am. Right. He said, that's it. It's time to go home. Yeah. He told that young man, go ahead and get her the wheelchair. Miss Mom, we got the rest of your stuff. Yes. You're going to go back to your first stroke. Go back to your first stroke. But then they gave me this. This is my stent record, right? Okay. So it stays in my purse. Everybody got a copy. Okay.
Your
the
whole
kids,
support
my mom,
system.
the
Your whole
whole
team.
support system had
Yes.
copy.
That's why it's important you all.
Yeah,
Have a support system.
and it's my neurology system all in there. So if anything happened, all they gotta do is quickly, and they gonna know exactly what to try to fix.
This
Girl, I
this is awesome, and this is needed. So if you ever had a stroke or
yes,
I hope you have something like this too, to educate your family, educate your support system as well. This God is just amazing.
Girl.
God is just amazing.
Yes, He is.
So now that you have gone through 1, 2, 3 struggles, and that's why I said the amazing Raquel Moss, because God Himself showed up just for you. Even when the doctor thought that you were not going to be able to walk again, God Himself showed up just for you. And everything, all the seeds that you have planted, and so many students you have coached, all of those seeds.
Yeah.
God say, this is my daughter, this is my child.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give up.
Me.
He's keeping you. Mercy said no.
Girl.
Okay? And you here today. Yeah. And that's a blessing in itself. So share with us before we end this wonderful show. What do you really say to educators that are having any type of health challenges at work? How do you give them a voice?
Girl, look, be transparent. Build that team. Don't get so bothered with the ones that are questioning whether you can still do the job.
Yes.
Right? Because I've already questioned myself before I went in there. Right? Can I still do this job? And the thing is, the pacing gap for educators is unreal in the first place. Okay? Yep, I see it. It's unrealistic. We should not be working that hard. To get students to move forward to the end.
Right.
To get to that stage. To get to that stage of the commencement. Yes. That they have finished and completed all 13 years.
Yes.
And so I tell my co-workers all the time, come to work, do your job, have fun. Okay? Yes. I'm still jovial. I still laugh. But I make sure that I'm taking care of myself. Yes. And my thing is, and sometimes we don't supposed to be doing all the believer things and saying things. God is not supposed to be in the workplace. He should not be in the school setting. We've heard those political conversations, and I don't know why we fell for that, but we did as educators.
But you're a walking testimony.
Yeah, but we can't, because there are other because they're educators that have had strokes. They're educators that have breast cancer. We have educators that have lupus. We have, you see what I'm saying? It's a lot of us in here still fighting, because we still have bills. We can't go home and just come on, y'all. Love on us by making sure that we have the finances so that we can do more and give more. You can't give from a cup that is depleted.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so yes, we try to walk every day, drink our water during meetings. Yes. We also try to educate our kids who have strokes, who have lupus, who have same things that we do. I don't know why sometimes we feel like they are not human. They're little humans, and they go through the same challenges that we go through. It's just at an earlier age. So, whereas they are more receptive to help me than sometimes the adults.
But you also talked about when we was talking about this early this week. You also talked about setting those boundaries, which I thought was like very, very important because sometimes even in your field, people may seem a little intimidated not to set those boundaries because they don't want to lose their job or they don't know what the administration is going to say to them and how they treat them. But you talked about how, hey, no is a complete sentence. I set my boundaries. It shows
and don't
how
be afraid.
And don't be afraid.
Here. Look now. You know, when I tell you it's too much for me, you gotta believe me.
Yes.
Because I will walk off and walk to my office. And if I cannot get my blood pressure down, I will say, hey, I'm gonna go home.
Right. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because, or hey, I'm gonna go to the hospital.
Right.
Hey, because I got all kind of, baby. I got the monitor in the car. I got the blood pressure cup in my. You know what I'm saying? I'm constantly
because you have to take
monitoring.
Yeah,
I can feel it sometimes when it's really high. I can feel when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go into meditation. I got meds and everything in my office where I'm like, shut them down. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you, Raquel, because you are no longer, girl, that girl when you started education. Feisty, ready to rock, you know, ready to go, be on the move. So I've always educated people around me, even when the advice was you gonna kill your career if this gets out. Wow. You got to be kidding me.
That is crazy. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That's that political side.
Yeah. You won't be promoted. You won't get any of it. Because
you're sharing about your health challenges and making a change. So that hopefully this doesn't happen again. And educating those around you, even your students who you care so much about your students. Doing the first stroll that you did about yourself initially.
Because I'm still worried about, okay, when I get back to work, and I'm going to share real quickly. You know, I always shout out my sweetheart, Audra. I met Audra at Fairview Elementary School. Just very reserved young lady. She was in a fashion show that I put on for breast cancer to raise money, right? And she had been with me throughout her journey, really. We had been tied to the hip, right? So she's an author, okay? And she was like, Miss Moss, you remember me saying, you know, or you saying, you ought to write your story. You know, but I was like, girl, I can't write my story. My hand is still not, you know, it takes me, it sometimes it hurts to write. So she was like, don't worry about that. I got you. So her second book is this book. And so, you know, her journey through Spelman, this book, you purchased this book. You know,
what's the name of the book?
Oh, After the Stroke, A Journey into Rock 10.
Yes, After the Stroke, A Journey into Rock 10.
Yeah. And Rock 10 is what, you know, kind of blossomed from my workout. You know, when people say, girl, you ought to be a trainer. See, no. Y'all like, you know, it's hard to get me now. But some beautiful things did come out. Sworn came out of it where I educate other educators. So you can book me to come to your school and talk about it. You know, these same things I'm talking to you guys about. You know, how to manage that, you know, HR piece too, FMLA and all of that, right? Okay. So awesome. And then Today's Thinkers, Tomorrow's Leaders, which is my nonprofit, where kids, we showcase kids and the wonderful things that they are doing.
And that's awesome because you also have the show Rock 10,
Mm-hmm.
where I was a guest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On Rock 10 show. So that is awesome. Okay, how this just circles back around.
Right.
Okay, and also, if you need to find out any information regarding stroke, different signs, awareness materials, you can always go to stroke.org.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of different videos there also that can just educate you on the signs that you need to be aware of, because that's what we're here for, awareness.
That's right.
To educate and to give educators a voice.
That's right. Girl, but we talking now. Yeah. But we are definitely talking.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Continue the conversation. Yes.
Care for us as we care for you and your child.
Yeah, and I was getting ready to say, as you care for their children, your students.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You
we love them.
That's a whole community, you all. We need our educators.
Mm-hmm. We need more neuroscience. That's why I said you can't get rid of us, because we're the ones that are pushing for these new doctors. Every pathway now is looking for people. Yeah, they're looking for people, and we, I understand our kids want to be content creators and do these type of things now. We get it, right?
They love to be influencers, right?
But where are you gonna get that content, right? Right. How are you gonna get this material?
That's right.
To do on a consistent basis. So writing, and being aware. Right? It's going to be important for those students that want to go into, that field. But everybody, okay, my sonographer, the person that views my neck to make sure that the stent and the blood and the arteries and everything is flowing properly. Yeah, she was saying the same thing. Miss Mom said, "Can you talk to kids about being a sonographer and and what what it takes and this and that?" And we made really good money, and I'm like, "Girl, how much y'all make, girl?" And so she was like, "Starting now, girl, we can do at least 60,000." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Okay." So I'm always hearing about new careers, so it gives me an opportunity too to learn about new careers to talk to my students about. Right?
Wow. That's good, because you're right. We living in a different time now, and there's so much out there influencing our kids.
Yes.
And sometimes we have to get back to the basics. Get back to the basics of education.
Learning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Path, career path. To make sure that they're gonna get that education that they need. It's wonderful to be an influencer. It's wonderful to be an entrepreneur, but that education. That knowledge, that understanding is key.
It's just not something to say, because that's like blah blah blah. Miss Molly, heard it before. Okay, then why aren't you moving?
Right.
If you've heard it before, you tired of us names. Then why aren't you moving? That was then why are you moving? Being great. Why are you in my office? You right? And I love it. Just your classroom. I'll come see you. Right?
Yeah.
And they love it. Let me get my classroom. Okay. It is. I have a ball. Okay.
Please reach out to Raquel Mom. I'll leave her contact information for you in the comments. But how can they get in contact with you?
Hey Swan Rock 10 at Gmail. You can do that. Or go to my website. SwanRock10.com.
Awesome. Well, I am so glad. I'm so blessed that you was with us today. This has been an awesome show. Yes.
And hey, real quick, I said, Genea, how did we meet? She was like, "Girl, you were my black court captain."
Yeah.
I've been in leadership a long time.
And she was leading us, okay, with our white boots on.
That's
back in the day. Mustangs,
baby. Before we the chicken,
we had some man. Well, I'll tell you, whatever comments you have left today, we're going to go back and read your comments, answer your questions, and I'll let you know again how to reach out to the amazing, the amazing Raquel Mouth. And we thank God for this life today.
Thank you.
Continue, you all, to reach out and join us on We Empower Network, on Keep Living in Your Right Mind, on our YouTube channels. And always remember to keep living
And
in your right mind.
yes.
See you again soon.